Hey everybody, welcome back to more Pokemon Colosseum. I'm Yellow Shy. Continue on our trip up Smoky Mountain. Rain is always calling. Always calling. I don't know. Some Ronnie Millsap to start the day. How about that, eh? So anyways, we're actually continuing a mountain battle, not Smoky Mountain rain. Doesn't look like there's much rain here. I always wish there was an area that had rain in it, you know, like all the other Pokemon games do. But hey, can't complain. It's a minor detail. Although I love the minor details. They're, well, minor details. They don't focus on them much as some of the more major issues in the game. So I think starting now, unless it does go by very fast, I'm going to just be doing 5, so half of an area in a video here. But I don't know, if we're rolling along, we'll see kind of how it works. I don't know. So unfortunately, this is going to be a lot longer than the first half of Mount Battle, which, like I said, is a little unfortunate, I guess, if you put it that way. But Espeon does know Psychic now, so it'll be going through a fair number of Pokemon in one hit, much like we were doing earlier. It's nice. It's a nice addition to have, a nice bonus to be able to use Psychic, and it's just a powerful move with the special attack stat of Espeon. Combine that, holy smokes, it just knocking out Pokemon left and right, and it's really why everyone likes Espeon so much better than Umbreon, just because it can do that. But I have to say, overall, I like Umbreon better, but if you're just playing through a game like this, I would definitely use Espeon more, just because you get things done faster. But overall, I think Umbreon's a better Pokemon. And our lesson's over about who's better, Espeon or Umbreon. And it's more like an opinion sort of statement, like a sound off. It wasn't really a lesson. Oh wow, you beat my teacher. Well, you think you should be before the teacher, but I don't know. And Laton, or maybe that's supposed to be Layton without the Y, I don't know. That would be actually a very decent name. Like, it's actually an actual name. I know people named Layton, so there you go. And we'll just roll right along here. I'm using one of my old controllers. I don't know how, I just lost. I couldn't find it, lose it, I guess, but I guess that's the definition of losing something if you can't find it. I can't find it, so I don't know where it went. Like, it's in my room somewhere, I'm sure. It's not the tidiest place right now. I like to, you know, every time you clean your room up, you go, okay, I'm gonna keep it clean, and then within a couple of weeks, you know, there's one point where you're in a rush and you just throw something, and then you're like, well, I might as well just keep throwing things on it or something. I don't know. And I see, that's where, like, my control stick's a little goofy. That's why I attacked Famke there. It kind of just went down on its own. It's a little off kilter, getting weared out. It's funny because I never played GameCube a whole lot, but I guess the controller's still getting beat up pretty good. My N64 controllers, they're a mess. Holy smokes. Played that system enough. Those old Mario Party games. There was one of them where it was a tug-of-war game where you'd have to, like, rotate the control stick. That was the world. That weared out the control stick very easily. And to the point I probably couldn't even play that game anymore because the control stick has no effect. You know, they don't count as a movement until it's, you know, fully pressed in a direction on the N64, and it basically goes in the full direction on its own without having to put much force on it. So it's a little hard to move things around. You really almost gotta put, like, you can't use the tip of your thumb. You kind of gotta go down towards your knuckle on your thumb and kind of move the control stick like that, and it's a little awkward. I don't know. Talking about control sticks, there we go. Yeah, these battles definitely be a bit slower, especially when I use, like, Psychic on a Pokemon I shouldn't have, but oh well. We'll see how it goes. We're pretty much almost up to 5 minutes already, so I'm thinking it's going to be split up into 2 videos, because the last one I did was a little long. It was 25 minutes. I probably even should have just split that one up. But these ones will be even longer probably, so or just as long. So I'm just going to split them up. You're doing great. Well, thank you. You actually have a. I'll keep you in mind. Floor 52. I wore that number in baseball one year. It was the first legitimate name that we found in this game, pretty much, other than Willie, the very first guy. So got you out on good terms by, giving the first guy in the game that you meet a decent name. But then it goes all downhill from there. So, here's Espeon and Umbreon. What do you have? Leap and Skiploom. I think Psychic should still be able to knock out Leap. Although, won't be surprised. These things have quite the defense. And wow. That doesn't happen every day when that happens. Psychic doesn't kill some in one hit, I tell you. Well, we'll just flop around and get them both next turn then. And of course, it just takes a long time to attack for a whole 4 damage there. That's why I like Umbreon so much better, because the amount of damage it did. I mean, it only did 5 to Espeon too, but overall, the defense, the physical defense stat, anyways, is a lot better on Umbreon. The Espeon has decent special defense, but I know I've probably stated that before, but something to do, something to talk about during here. So yeah, it's getting worse and worse as we climb higher to the top. Just don't know what to say. But there we go, got a little leap down, and a Lady Ann pops up. And I've been meaning to switch for the longest time to get Croconaw out of there. And at least try to train out one of my Shadow Pokemon, because eventually I want to try to, I know it's probably not going to happen, I was thinking about eventually purifying all the Shadow Pokemon so you could see what move they learn and stuff like that after the Shadow Rush gets cured, but I could probably just find on the internet somewhere, what moves they actually are, and that would maybe save a lot of, time. So I don't have to walk around with Shadow Pokemon for a long time, because that might get a bit... Especially once I finally get my 6 Pokemon on my team, then I won't have a Shadow Pokemon on my team, because they just carry around constantly. But redouble your training, well. Good luck with that. No challengers come this high, wow. Maybe you said in a long time, I wasn't too sure. Wouldn't really trust anything that a guy named Boda would say anyways. What is that, Boda? Come on. Oh well, I got a Rhyhorn and a Delibird. And I never really understood how to, really, when you try to interpret names and how you should say them, people would say you should say delivered, or delivered, right? Because it's it's supposed to rhyme with delivered, because he's a delivery bird, so delivered, so it should be delivered. And but I always call it Delibird because, well, it's very close to Dairy Queen when they have their dilly bars, and it always sounds like Delibird. And since they're both frozen, ice type to a frozen treat, I always called it Delibird as if it was close to Dilly Bar. So I don't know if that's the reasoning where I actually first came up with that or not, but I would hope not. That would be pretty lame. But it really, realistically, when you think about it, it should be called Delivered, because it rhymes with delivered. So I don't know. One of those weird things that Pokemon kind of get slightly different names, and I'm sure it was mostly supposed to be maybe derived from delivery, so it's supposed to be that's the same thing. Anyways, yeah. I don't know where you'd come up with Delibird, because I'm pretty sure it's actually supposed to be called Delibird. I don't know if there's some famous company that has specific pronunciations for Pokemon. I don't know. Pokemon Dictionary. It's not really pocket size anymore. Those dictionaries getting full. Pokemon words. Wouldn't fit in your pocket anymore. Too many Pokemon now, too many Pokemon terminology. I'm sorry, that's probably will never never play a game past the 4th generation on this channel. As much as I don't mind the 5th generation Pokemon at all, I got nothing against it. I just don't like the fact that it's like they just keep making more and more and more and more. Let's use Secret Power and Houndour, I guess. Get this Vibrava out of the way. Vibrava is another one. See, I've always called it Vibrava, but it's probably supposed to be Vibrava because it's vibrating, you know, a grasshopper, how their wings vibrate, or a cricket, or whatever. So that's probably supposed to be Vibrava, and it's supposed to be a larva, though. So that's where I always thought it was supposed to mean like it's a dragon. Well, I guess dragon. I don't know. I think Flygon's I think it was a big dragonfly or something. I don't know what it is. But you know, I think of Vibrava because it's a larva. So that's I always called it Vibrava, but I know people call it Vibrava. I don't know. See, they should all be simple, like Staryu. You wouldn't call it Staryu. I don't know. Maybe you would. Or Starya. I don't know. Or, you know, Delcatty. That's pretty straightforward. No one would probably say Delcatty. Or, you know, I don't know. There's just some controversial names. Houndour or Houndour. That's another one. I always say Houndour, usually, if I'm in a... You know, but it's one of those things where you probably should say Houndour, but sometimes you go so fast to say Houndour, sometimes it just comes out Houndour. I know but there's OU combinations that make ow sound, like out, and there's also an OU sound that makes an oo sound, so... I can't think of an example there. Yeah, I actually can't think of an OU that would make an oor sound, so I guess it should be Houndour, but... I know people have called it Houndour before, so I don't know. Anyways, it's the first time I've lost when I've played for Keys, so I'll promise I get tougher, and we won't battle again, because there's no way I'm coming up again. And what are we at for time here? 12 minutes. Hey, that's actually not bad. Maybe we'll get all this in the video, I don't know. This is the 6th one. Actually, no, I'll just probably find a spot somewhere to split this up. Kind of find a halfway point or something. I'll maybe do this one. I don't know. I shouldn't really talk about it because I might be splitting it around here potentially. I'll kind of decide after I finish the whole area up. And I'll kind of see how long the full thing is. That was really bad. That was off kilter there on the notes. It's going pretty fast though. Gotta give me a little bit of a break. A little leniency. Yeah, anyways. The psychic combo, it makes it a lot faster. I know the end of that other area when it just had Psybeam was a bit slow, the end of Area 5 there. So I guess this might actually not take quite as long. So for the most part now, I'm probably going to use Espeon for the most of battle now. And just kind of use Umbreon, hit on top, and all the other guys just to sort of keep level. So Espeon will be a much higher level when this is all said and done, but it's not a big deal, I don't think. Espeon tends to be the highest level for everyone. Anyways, I'm going to be keeping them all quite even because, well, I won't really explain why, but if you're trying to get 100% completion, you know, either I guess you could import Pokemon from like Ruby and Sapphire and stuff after beating the game and stuff like that, and you just import some level 100s and legendary Pokemon and stuff. You feel like cheating, you know. But I don't know, it's not cheating at all because you're pretty much done. If they allowed you to do it before you'd finish the main story of the game, that would be a bit cheating. But I can understand where you'd want to because, you know, after playing this game through so many times, there's only so many combinations of Pokemon or so many different types of Pokemon you can have. There's 47 Shadow Pokemon in the game, and not all of them are accessible up to the last area of the game. Sometimes you want to get them all very fast, you know, before the end of the game. So there's not a whole lot of options for you. And I usually always pick the same 5 or 6 Pokemon when I go through. Sometimes I only pick 5, sometimes only 4. I've gone through this whole game just using Umbreon and Espeon before too. I usually take Suicune on my team. It's usually the only game where I actually take a legendary Pokemon with. I usually don't use legendary Pokemon when I play through normal, like Pokemon Ruby or Pokemon Gold or things like that. I usually don't take legendary Pokemon, but this is one exception because I don't know, they don't seem that legendary. I guess I don't know. That's not. They're legendary Pokemon. They should seem legendary, but I guess maybe just the method that you get them being the same as all the other Pokemon in this game, so it doesn't seem like any difference. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. So we got the rain. I was talking about Smoky Mountain rain there. Now that's appropriate. Smoky Mountain rain. And she's got another love disc, I guess. Of course, they're all going to go first. Their swift swim ability. So I guess they do kind of make a bit of strategy involving, I guess, using Rain Dance. And Pokemon have Swift Swim and whatnot. Swift Swim. Don't say the T, you just say Swift Swim. It's like I always remember going through, you had your music classes and stuff when you would go through school. I don't know, maybe some of you didn't. But anyways, I did anyways. And they would always, when you sing your songs, like in choir or whatever, it was a mandatory thing. You would always pronounce the T in the T or the P in the P. And I never really understood, like, say you're saying the word it, you'd always say it. And you'd have to, like, say that T sound, the T at the same time. But when you hear, like, songs on the radio, they don't, they actually almost conceal it, if they're saying a long note, they may not say that T, or especially the S. If you notice anytime you listen to a song, or even to someone talking, if you're listening to me talking, and you just pay attention to the S of the S's, it gets really hard and annoying to listen to people talk. If I said my loss was a thing of beauty, when that S sound on the loss, you hear that hissing sound, and it just sounds weird. But normally it doesn't sound weird if you're just hearing someone talking, unless you're really paying attention to that. And same thing if you're listening to music, you're listening to a whole band play or something, and if you just focus, say you can just barely hear the, I don't know, it's an instrument you probably would barely hear, I would probably like a tuba or something in the low brass, you probably hear the trumpets quite well. Trombones maybe you wouldn't hear very well. But if you listen to what you can hear the trombone, pay attention to it, the trombones will sound louder, and it's weird. I don't understand how that works, because the same sound should be coming in through your ears, but because you're focusing on the one sound more, it's like that sound becomes a priority when it gets transferred to your brain. I don't know if that makes any sense. That was just a guess. It wasn't like a scientific fact or anything like that. Anyways, we're done with that Rain Dance, the Smoky Mountain Rain. Yeah, I'll move on here. This guy's got a nose pass. Of course, when you say a soft S, when you say nose, Z's kind of sound, you don't hear it as bad as if you have a strong S. Which is, you don't really hear soft S's very much. It's usually if it's like an I-S-E ending, like rise. But any other kind of time you hear an S, it's usually, or even like I said, some soft C's as well. It's the same sound. Oh, don't use feint attack there, stupidoid. Or I guess even like the PSY combination, psychic. Yeah, you could use some soft C's and say that's Sysis. Yeah, that probably sounded really annoying if you were paying attention to that hissing sound. It's weird though. Same with like when I'm editing videos and stuff like that. And I always contemplate over whether I should get rid of the, when I'm kind of breathing in and out in between sentences. And I know they're not exaggerated like that. Some of them are so small, but since I'm paying attention to them, I hear them more, and it's like when I'm in between sentences. And you probably, if you're just watching the video, you wouldn't really notice unless you actually kind of hear it once and you go, wow, So I try to take out the major ones if I ever go like that. But for the most part, if I'm just talking and I don't really notice, then I guess if you're listening, you probably wouldn't really notice neither. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. Where did you do your training? right here, obviously. Like, I'm at floor 60 here, and he's wondering where I'm doing my training. It's not a good question to ask. Next question, please. Lady Illa. Oh, it's anagram of Lila. You could have. I'll give it half credit, I guess. Of course, the alphabet. And that was talk while yawn. Now, what should we do? Let's go that way. Let's just psychic on Volbeats. I think Volbeats are a little bit, a hair more defensive. I hate when people say the word hair to describe a little effect, you know. I don't know. You know, I don't know. A basketball is a hair bigger than a soccer ball, or I don't know. It's the way they say it, it's like, you know, a hair is, the width of a hair is ridiculously small, so you wouldn't be able to tell if something was a hair bigger. But I don't know. I guess that's kind of a stupoid thing to try to decipher why people say things the way they do. They're just analogies, like, geez, they're just trying to prove that you don't need much more. It isn't much more or something. Can't defy logic. No matter how hard you try. You could take logic and make better ideas, you know, things that don't make sense, because there are things that don't make sense. When they make sense, if that makes sense. Anyway. You know, some things, there are, like, you know, there's some things that really don't make sense. Like money, for example. We just take for granted what money is, but we could survive without money, like, you know, if it was just a trade kind of thing. You know, like if everyone just made everything for the goodwill of people and gave it to people, and, you know, people would all do their part to give back. I mean, it's really, money doesn't really accomplish much other than if you don't have it, then if you don't have any, then you can't really do much. So, I don't know. It's kind of a strange concept that we don't really think about. We think money is logic, but it seems like it should be more logical to not even have money, but I don't know. Wow, this area is actually going by quite fast. What was this, 58 or 59? I think this was 58. Not too sure, but... asked me nicely. Did you really? I don't recall. Sorry. Skipping text. Silly me. You should pay for the request. Well, what was I gonna do if I lost? That wouldn't be very good. Oh, that was 59 too. So we're going to Loco. Oh goodness. I'm showing that high energy. Yeah, I've had a lot of energy as I've been talking through all of this. And you probably have a lot of energy if your name is Loco. Holy goodness. So here's an example where they don't really specificize. No, that doesn't sound right. You know, they really don't have a specific type of Pokemon. You see Wigglytuff and a Zoomreel. I don't know, maybe she specificizes. That doesn't sound right at all. But I think it is right. They don't have a specific type, but it's kind of a specific shape, maybe. All their Pokemon are oval types, or oval-like looking Pokemons. I don't know. Anyways, at least Feint Attack, and then we'll probably have to just switch around. So you Psychic on Wigglytuff, Feint Attack on Azumarill. And we like to use Defense Curl, eh? I see. Pretty stupoid. I'm just using special attacks here. Alright. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, there we go. Not too shabby. And the Ariados. Okay, I'll go down to a quick Psychic. So I guess she doesn't really specialize in oval Pokemon. Well, I guess Ariados kind of ovalish. I don't know. It's like an ant. Well, it's a spider, but the spider's kind of made up of little ovals. And Wailmer, yeah, that's like a circle-like Pokemon too. I don't know if that's intentional or if it just sort of happened. It seems like something that just sort of would have happened, but you know, it seems like each area should have, area leader should have something kind of to remember them about. And I think it'd be about making circle Pokemon. If they all 5 of them are like that, then I would assume that it's intentional. But Ariados is kind of a, yeah, okay, I guess it is all kind of circular Pokemon. I love how they just kind of bounce up and just go nice and slow. Wailmer is kind of a cool Pokemon. I like Wailmer better than Wailord. I would keep a Wailmer rather than have a Wailord. I'll use Feint Attack on you. Swabafet might be a little bit of a pain. They're so defensive. There we go. I love that cry too. Oh, doesn't sound anything like, well, it sounds exactly kind of like what you would think a whale would sound. So, and there we go, level 50. That's our first 50. So we're halfway up the level scale, just like we were a while ago when we were halfway up Mount Battle. And I said we were halfway done, but only figuratively, because it'll be a lot longer lengthwise, as in time to get up to the second half, just like this. It's a lot easier to get from level 1 to 50 than it is to get from 50 to 100. I always say I usually think it's not about halfway over until you get to about level 75. So 3/4 of the way figuratively is actually about halfway. Maybe that'll be the case here too, but I don't know. Maybe not. That was a pretty quick area actually. Well, I guess I shouldn't say fast, but you know, for being Area 6, decently quick. Anyways, go in here and get our coupons. I think we'll get 1,000 this time. Finally, for like 3 areas now, I've been saying get 1,000. And what? Oh, they just gave me 800 again? Oh, for goodness sake. Anyways, show them what you're made of, but you're going to have to wait till next time. Ha ha ha. So next time on Pokemon Colosseum, we're going to go ahead and take on the next area, which will be Area 7, I guess. See, we're making decent progress here, okay? So, this is Yellow Shy saying goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later.